us to give the diagnostic test just to know the baseline, that where we are starting from, to give you a clear idea
Ansh, this
what
is
is going
Mayur.
to come in the examination.
So you can take the diagnostic test on the Career Launcher portal. The purpose of today's masterclass was to take the diagnostic test first, and then we are going to discuss all the questions of the diagnostic test in the session today. So we had a session 2 days back where we asked all our participants to go ahead and register and take the diagnostic test, which was made available to them free of cost, and then they could have discussed it today. But if you haven't taken the diagnostic, then that's exactly what we're going to discuss today, Ansh and Shreyansh.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So all of these questions that you see here, these are already part of the diagnostic test, which are available on the portal, which we discussed in the session a couple of days back. So that is what we are going to discuss for both math and verbal. But if
Okay,
we have
sir.
not attended that, if we have not taken that test, I don't think this is going to help in that case.
Okay, sir. So
No
I'm
one has
waiting.
taken it. Shreyansh and Dhruv or Dhuvarak, have you taken the diagnostic?
No.
So I would suggest that you take the diagnostic test once, and then you can, connect with us. We can help you understand your strengths and weaknesses and how to go about it. In the meantime, we can go ahead and have a discussion about the questions that we have.
Where to give diagnostic test?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's continue with the questions. Thank you so much, sir. So it says that if a and b both are divided by 2 and then added, the resultant is still a fraction. So I divided a by 2 and b by 2 and then added them. The resultant is a plus b by 2. It says it is a fraction. That means a plus b is not divisible by 2. If a plus b is not divisible by 2, that means a plus b is odd. And if sum of two integers is odd, that's only possible when exactly one of them is odd and the other is even. Clear? Okay. Let's go to the next question. If the sum of consecutive integers from -10 to x is 23, what is the value of x? Try this question. Done, guys?
Everyone, we request you to please be active in the chat. If you can quickly share your responses in the chat, because if there's going to be no response from your end, then it's going to be very difficult for us to go ahead with this.
Done, Shriyansh? Guys, am I audible? Oh, 12. Okay, fine. What about others? Okay, let's see how to do this question.
Of arithmetic progression.
Arithmetic progression. Okay. We can do it without even using arithmetic progression, without even using AP. See, we're talking about consecutive integers. That means integers like this. The terms are something like this. We know that the sum of integers from -10 to 10 is definitely going to be 0. Because minus
Yes.
10 will cancel out 10, 9 will cancel, -9 will cancel out 9 and so on. So the sum from -10 to 10 is 0. What after 10? You have 11. The sum now is going to be 11. The next term is 12. Sum now is going to be 11 plus 12. That is 23. That means x is nothing but 12. If I add all the integers from -10 to 12, the sum is going to be 23. Simple? Okay. Let's go to the next question now. Try this one. The ratio of rice bought by person A to the amount of rice bought by person B is 6:7. A is to B is 6:7. What is the total amount of rice that both of them bought combined? That means let's suppose the person A bought 6K kg of rice and B bought 7K kgs of rice. That means they bought a total of 6 plus 7, that is 13K kg of rice. That means the total amount of rice is going to be a multiple of 13. Since there are two multiples of 13 in the options, in the given options, that means the answer is cannot be determined. We won't be able to say that which of the option is correct. Since there are multiple correct options, multiple correct possibilities, because of which it cannot be determined. Clear, everyone? Okay, let's go to the next question in that case. Try this one. So in a survey, 40 people were asked if they were in favor of building a new city mall, okay, 17 people voted in favor of building a new mall. Whereas for 3 people, it did not matter. All other people voted against the building, not in favor. So out of 40, if 17 were in favor, for 3 it did not matter. So remaining 20 were against or not in favor. What is the ratio of the people in favor of building a new mall? That is 17 to the people who are not in favor of building the mall. That is 20. So 17 is to 20 is the correct answer. Let's go to the next question then. Clear, everyone? Okay, try this one. Please solve it and share your answers in the chat. Quick, it's a very easy question.
Just a second.
Okay. Okay. What about others? Shreyansh, need more time? Okay, let's try to solve this. So now there were 10 students who scored 65. That means a total of 650. Correct? 8 who scored 50. So 8 times 50 is 400.
Yeah, option D.
Option D. Wonderful. That's the process, correct? That's the same process you used? Yes.
Yes, to find yeah, summation Fi divided by
Correct. Sigma Fi and then by sigma Fi will give you the average. That's 1730 and sigma Fi is 30. What is the mean? That's 1730 over 30, which is 57.66. That's option D. Wonderful. Let's go to the next question in that case. Try to solve this one and comment down the answer. Come on. Priyansh, Palak, done? Wonderful. What about others?
B.
B. Okay. Let's see. So the salary on the year basis of each employee has increased 10% than it was last year. If a range of the annual salaries of the employees was 20,000, what is the range of annual salaries of the employees this year? So if the range was 20,000, that means maximum salary minus the minimum salary was 20,000. What is the new maximum salary? It is 10% more than the previous one. So what is 10% more? That is 1.1 times the maximum salary. What is the new minimum salary? That is also an increased value. That is 1.1 times the minimum salary. So I can take 1.1 common. So again, I'll get maximum salary minus minimum salary. That is 20,000. 1.1 times 20,000 is 22,000. That's option B. Let's go to the next question. Yeah, try to solve this. Done? Okay. Priyas, done or need more time? Rishi?
Guys, we would need you to participate. We request you to, if you're there in the session to learn things, please respond in the chat. And if you just logged in for the sake of it, it's not really going to be very helpful. So we need participants, right? We don't need audience, guys. So please do not be lazy. Respond to the questions asked. You can share your responses in the chat. Shreyansh, Rishi, those guys, if you're there, so please let us know in the chat. Else we'll have to stop because we are not getting any responses and will not be able to move like that. Shreyansh, I expect you to respond on your own next time so that we can move at a decent pace, right?
Okay. So let's see. So in a guest house, a total of 200 rooms are available for rent. Rooms are marked like 1, 2, 3, 4 to 200. Two groups, Group A and Group B, are assigned the job of housekeepers. Group A take care of room marked in odd numbers and Group B do the rest. That means each group has 100 rooms to uh, work upon. If Group A has 8 members and each of them cleaned P rooms daily, then which of the following equations is relevant to the above information about P? If there are 8 members and each of them are cleaning P rooms on a daily basis, that should be equal to 100. So we have to look for the equations which says 8P is equal to 100. If I solve the first option, we can see that 8P is 100. If I take this to the right hand side, that will make 8P equals 100. And that's the correct answer. Clear, everyone? Okay, let's go to the next question in that case. Try to solve this one. And please, guys, reply. Chat mein likho. Write the answers in the chat box. Solve it and then write the answers in the chat box. Done. Shreyansh, Palak, Himanshi. Guys, please solve and reply. And if you have any doubts, please ask.
Solving. Solving.
Achha. Huh. What about rest? Palak, Himanshi? Okay, thank you, Palak. What about others? Sure. Let's try to solve this question. Yes. 5mx plus 7k minus 2 equals 26 minus 2mx. So let's take all the variables to one side and the constants to the other. So that is going to be 5mx. If I take this to the other side, it's going to be plus of 2mx, and then we have 7k, 26, and then minus 2. When we take this to the right hand side, will become plus of 2. 7 times mx plus 7 times k is 28. Mx plus k times 7 is 28. Mx plus k is going to be 28 by 7, that is 4. Clear, everyone? Okay, let's go to the next question. Yeah, solve this one.
Three.
Wonderful. Let's try to solve this. Two p minus 1 plus p minus 3 minus p plus 4 is 6. So plus of p minus of p cancel. That becomes 2p minus of 1 minus of 3 becomes minus of 4, and then we have plus of 4. Again cancel. So 2p equals 6 and p becomes 3. Clear? Okay. Last question of today's session. Go for it. Well done, Shaurya. What about others? Palak, Himanshi, Shreyansh,
3130.
3130. Okay. Let's learn how to do it. We don't have to solve it for x and y. Question is, what is the value of 6 times x plus y? Vice of x plus 4 times y is 1450. And 4 times x plus 2 times y is 1680. If we simply add them, we'll get 6 of x plus 6 of y. That's 3130. So now we can write it as 6 times x plus y is nothing but 3130. Clear, everyone? Any doubts in any of the questions that we solved today? Okay, what about others? No doubts? Okay.
All right, guys. I hope so. You were able to understand how and what techniques can really help you ace the math section on the SAT, and you can really get to a very high score, right? Because math is a very high scoring section, and absolutely you can target an 800 score on the math section, provided you learn the right strategies and you apply them as well, right? So they may seem easy, but again, it's only easy if you get all of them correct, right? So on the math section, if you look at the test just like that and you feel it's easy and oh, I can get this right, but if even if you get two or three questions right, your score will drop down drastically. So that is where the catch really is, right? Hence the preparation, which can really help you ace the section and get all the questions correct, because that is crucial to getting to a good score. Okay, because most of us can get 80% accuracy, let's say, even with some decent prep and all. So that's where we help in. Now let's have a look at the verbal part. So again, same drill, right? So this was a test that was shared in the session the other day, and we'll go through the verbal section questions as well and how to go about those questions. But before we move on, so can you tell me what type of questions are tested? Anyone, do we have an idea on what do we have on the SAT verbal section? I think Abhishek has discussed in the very first slide the exam pattern and structure. So, what do we mean by writing and language? What type of questions are those? And I really request you guys to be active in the chat box, guys, because I would not want anyone just as an audience. So, if you're here in the session, please respond in the chat. Else, you can probably watch it later or something, right? But if you're here, then I would want you to be active and respond. Only then we are going to move forward. No idea. Okay. How about the rest?
Vocabulary questions.
Pardon?
Vocabulary questions.
Vocabulary questions. Okay, that's writing and language. Great. All right. No guesses. Okay. Why do we have to guess, Himanshi? We should know, right? So, guys, first of all, writing and language is all your grammar portion of the test. Writing and language is not vocab based questions, because vocab is in the reading part of your test. Okay. On the verbal section, there are two types of questions: reading and writing and language. So, reading is more of your reading comprehension. So, a short paragraph is given to you, and then there are different types of questions, such as the main idea question, inference based questions, right? Vocab based questions, and all, right? So, these are all different types of questions that you get on your reading part of the test. And then you have the grammar portion of the test, where you will be tested on your writing and language questions, which are all based on grammar rules. Okay, so there are there is a list of grammar rules that is tested on the SAT, which of course we cover in our training program one by one in detail. So in our classes, we'll go through all the rules such as subject verb agreement, punctuations, tenses, modifiers, parallelism. So all of this is covered in the training program so that you can ace the verbal section grammar portion. And similarly, on the reading side, we have different question types, which of course we cover on the reading part as well. So here, this was one of our questions in the test. So it's a typical main idea question. I give you guys a minute here. Please go ahead, have a quick look, and let's see what do you think is the answer here. And I would want you to respond in the poll. Please do not share it on the chat or on mic. Poll is live. Mark your answer choices on the poll. A minute to all of you. Please go ahead. All right, time's up. So that's the kind of time frame you're expected to solve a typical SAT question in. If you've not marked your choices now, guys, then it is going to be difficult for you to finish your test. So ending the poll now, in case you want to select, please mark your choices now. Okay. So here, as you can see, only 28% people have been able to solve the question, let alone the accuracies, secondary, but only 28% people even were able to mark their choices. So clearly a huge majority is not even able to solve the question in the time frame that you're supposed to, right? So that is where a lot of us need to improve, need to understand how can we solve these questions faster. So clearly, when it comes to a typical main idea question, it is recommended that the initial part and the later part of the paragraph is where you should pay more attention, because this is where usually the main idea is presented. So if you look at the first few lines here, we see that the author is talking about Antonin, an associate justice of Supreme Court who was known as a defender of originalism in the court. And if you look at the lines later, again, I think the author brings it back to the same point that non-originalists contend that by rejecting originalism, rights and liberties can expand. But there was nothing in non-originalism that compelled that result. So clearly, he's again justifying originalism and saying that non-originalism is not really what it says it is, right? So clearly, the main idea, if I combine these lines and try to figure out what the author is trying to say as a whole, so definitely, author wants to talk about this guy Antonin, who's pro-originalism and presents his views. So if you look at establish the difference between, there are no views of originalists and non-originalists given to us, so that's gone. Show how enter in defense, I think absolutely matches with the location as well, so I think I'll definitely hold on to it. Describe benefits of non-originalism. Again, there are no benefits, quite the opposite of what the passage says, in fact. Introduce the views. Again, I think the author is pro originalism and more about this guy Antonin. So clearly, as you can see, within 30-40 seconds, you could have easily answered B part as the right response. Show how Antonin defends originalism. That is what the right answer choice should have been. Is that clear here, everyone? Do we understand?
Yes.
Guys, a quick yes or no on the chat. And next question, if everyone doesn't answer, we stop there. Session is not moving forward, okay? As I said, and I'm very serious about it, I only need participants. So if you're here just to watch, you can probably do that later, right? So a quick yes or no, everyone. I hope we are clear there. Okay, Shaurya, Dhruv, and Shreyansh, Himanshi, I have no response from you. And guys, as I said, there will be no point. Palak and Himanshi, there are no responses from you on the chat to the questions. So this was the last of this thing. Next question, as I said, it's going to be the one if we get the same sort of result. So here the poll is live. I have another question for you. This one, author's central idea. So same thing. I give you guys another opportunity. Please go ahead. I'll give you a minute and 20 seconds. So please go ahead. Let's see what choice we select. All right, guys, time's up. Ending the poll now. If you have not marked, please mark your choices now. Okay. So again, only 57% or roughly about 50% people have answered on the poll. As I said, guys, will not be going ahead in case everyone who's present did not answer. So can you tell me in the chat, guys, who all have answered? Okay, so three people have answered. In that case, the poll disappeared. Wow. Guys, come up with excuses that are believable. So poll, if it ever appears, let me tell you, all you have to do is click on the three buttons where it says three dots. I mean, it says more, and when you click there, the poll will be available. You can just click on it, and it is accessible to you. Tanishka, I don't think you've responded on the poll either, and Dhruv, I don't think there is any response from your end on the poll. Okay. So since poll disappeared, so I'll give you the benefit of doubt on this one. And then we'll see on the next one what happens again. So here, the central idea of the passage is that, as I said earlier, initial lines and the later lines, same principle works on all of these questions, guys, right? So that makes your task a lot easier here. The great fundamental issue there itself, if you see such language, the author clearly presents something important, right, that the author wants to discuss. And it says the great fundamental issue is now before the Republican Party, are the Americans fit to govern themselves, to rule themselves, to control themselves? So clearly, the main point that the author wants to discuss in the passage is, how should they be ruled? Are they fit to rule themselves or not? That's the question that the author is asking. Now, if you look at a part, the certain body is capable of enough to govern the people. Absolutely not. I'm not sure which body are we even referring to. So clearly majority has fallen for it. We haven't really read the main points that we were supposed to, and thus fallen for the trap answer. Then the claims of the opponents and their actions, again, it's not even there. We haven't really read, so just some random detail is not going to be the main idea. A governing body can restrict the people. Again, I don't think that's the main thing that the author wants to talk about. There is a growing concern about how the people should be governed. Clearly, the main thing that we see in the first lines and the last ones as well, that the author wants to really, really talk about. So, as I said, questions are only difficult if we have no particular strategy that works. If we are just going by intuition or trying to guess our way around, then obviously it will feel difficult. But if you have a clear strategy that allows you to read carefully and eliminate all the common trap answers, then of course this is going to be a lot easier, as you can see on this one. Yeah, so I have another one for you. The poll is live, as I said, and this time, if anything, guys, if all of you do not respond, then I'll have to stop here. Please go ahead. All right, guys, time's up. Ending the poll now. Let's have a look at what choice we have gone for. If you've not marked, your time is now. Okay. So if you look at your poll results, I think everyone has answered here, but we've gone all over the place here. C, D, B, C, D, all three choices have been selected. Now, the best way to go about these questions is to obviously look for evidence, try and understand the sentence first, right? Try and understand the story that is going on. And the most common mistake that people will make is they look at the answer choices straight away. So if you look at answer choices first, you'll always, in fact, more often than not, you'll fall for the trap answers, because then a lot of answer choices will seem correct, right? So the better way here is to not even look at answer choices straight away, right? Read the sentence and try and understand who or what are we talking about. So if you look at the sentence here, it says historians can almost find no evidence of successful long-term female leadership from dash. So clearly we're talking about historians here, and historians can find no evidence from. Now you tell me, where will the historians try to find evidence from? Clearly, historians will try to look for evidence in history. As simple as that. Okay. Please use chat, guys. In case you have something specific to discuss, then you can unmute and talk to me, because it gets a little bit distracting. So please let me know in the chat in case you have a response. Yeah. Now, historians can find no evidence from what? Obviously, historians will look for evidence in history, and thus my prediction is history. So as you can see, based on the clues, the information that is given to me, I can come up with a word of my own that is based on the evidence that is given. Now, all I have to do is match the word history with the answer choices here. Clearly, agedness is simply old, but that doesn't mean history. Venerable, any idea, guys? Everyone, do we know the meaning of the word? Shreyansh? Not on the chat, guys, only on the poll. Yeah, so venerable, what is the meaning of the word here? Anyone? Okay, if you would have known, you would have shared by now. So if you don't know a meaning, all I'm trying to say is put a question mark. Don't guess the meaning of the word in case you're not sure. Antiquity is again something that we're looking for, right? But in case if you don't know, you can put a question mark there. Present day is obviously the opposite. Now, between something that I don't know and something that I like, obviously, C part is what my response should have been. Venerable is a positive word, it means praise and all. So obviously that is not going to be the word. Which also brings us to another important aspect of the test, that we should start working on our vocab. All right, so if you find that there are a lot of words which are new to you, which you do not know, then of course you should start building your vocab. And for the SAT, you don't need to learn a list of 1,000 words or so. All you have to do is make a separate notebook. Whatever words you encounter during your prep, whenever you're doing SAT questions from whatever source you're doing, any word that you encounter which is new to you, please go ahead and add it to your vocab list. Write a couple of synonyms, even a usage for it, and that will definitely help you improve and build whatever vocab is needed to ace on the verbal section. All right. So that's the best practice. Whenever you're doing questions, whatever words new, whenever you take mock tests or your practice questions, just keep on adding words to your list. That will definitely help you get confident with vocab based questions. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at another one here. Please go ahead. That's again a vocab question. The poll is live. Please mark your choices on the poll. Shori, if you can't see the poll, please click on the three dots which says more, and then you'll be able to access the poll. Same goes for everyone. All right, everyone, ending the poll now. Okay, more of you did not get here. Quickly just mark it on the poll. I've closed and launched again. Just 10 seconds, mark whatever choices you were supposed to select. Everyone, quick. Okay. So if you look at your poll results, very strong majority for C part. Adventurous is what we have gone for. Can you tell me what were your prediction here? What was the word that we can predict? And what are the clues that we have here, if anyone can tell me? What are the clues that we have? Guys, you'll have to talk to me. We're not going anywhere otherwise. Okay. So again, no response. You've gone back to your own ways, your old habits. Let's do it your way only then. So here it says a strong dash youth. So clearly strong is one of my, words that I can possibly think of, something related to youth, right? So youth, he's young and they're describing that person is strong. So, and how Perseus grows into a strong dash youth. So we're describing that person, how and what he has become. So absolutely, let's say a characteristic of Perseus here is what we're talking about. Something matching to these two is what I'll select. Clumsy is clumsy, definitely not. Agile is quick, flexible in movement, something absolutely that'll fit in, matches strength as well. Adventurous, very creative, absolutely not. So you simply cannot say adventurous, not enough information for us to say. Doesn't really match with any of the words that I have, and alluring is just enticing to that one. So as you can see, how easily we can fall for trap answers, as almost all of you went for the wrong one, which is adventurous here, right? So none of the words would match adventurous. There is no clue here. Alluring absolutely cannot be, guys. Alluring is just something which is very attracting, right? That has nothing to do with it here. So if we read the paragraph carefully, if we read the information carefully here, and in due course, Perseus grows into so how he is growing. He's not growing to be adventurous. He's growing as a strong person, right? So that you can describe as agile, as agility. He's getting strong. He's getting flexible. That's what the author is describing. He's not growing adventurous, right? And more importantly, there is no clue. So as you can see, context is super important. Unless we pay attention to context, there is absolutely no way how you'll be able to solve these questions with accuracy. More often than not, you'll fall for such answer choices as you have fallen for this one just now, right? So as you can clearly see, guys, the strategies are very, very important, and having the right strategy in place makes all the difference to your test here. And that is exactly how we proceed as well. Okay, so I'm sharing a form in the chat here. You can fill it up. This is for our reference, and we can connect. You can take the diagnostic. So since most of you have not even taken the diagnostic, of course, this will feel a little difficult as well. And the idea was that you could have taken the test and then come back to us. So now you can take it again, probably get in touch with us, and then we can help you take the test and discuss. As for the next steps, of course, you proceed with your conceptual classes, you take the topic test, sectional test, so your learning part continues. And then parallelly, we start with your application process as well. You get your profile evaluated, we discuss your target universities, your LORs, SOPs, essays, everything gets done simultaneously, and that is what we help students with. Okay, so again, these are the programs that you can connect with us to discuss, and some of our city scores, as you can see, prove to the strategy and approach that we follow across the top scorers here. Now, in case you have any questions, please ask, or you have the number on your screen. Please feel free to get in touch in case you have any queries that you may want to discuss. You want to discuss your profile or any admissions related queries, please feel free to reach out to us. Any questions that you have for me, everyone? All right, great. All the best. Please feel free to reach out on the number that I've shared here. Fill out the form that I've shared as well.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, please tell me.
Will the SAT exam be comprised of topics beyond class 10th, like integration and differentiation?
No, SAT Math only has class 10th level syllabus. There is no calculus on the SAT.
Okay.
Okay.